Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're going to be doing a review of vintage patterns. I'm just going to give it a moment for everyone to show up. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you. All right, I have my coffee in tow. We have Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut coffee with caramel macchiato creamer. Very, very good. Good morning, Ruth and Alex. Thank you so much for being here. Linda, Laura, Eugenia, Kimberly, hello. Suzanne, Denise, hello to you. And Trish, Miss Bull, hello to you. Thank you for being here. Hello, Yvette, and Penny, and Carlina. Hi, Kathy, and Pen. Hello, hello. Hi, Brenda. Welcome in. And Granny Square Lisa, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Jill and Jax. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for being here, guys. So I'm not sure if you guys saw the thumbnail, but we're going to be doing vintage recipes. I have pattern books from years past, a whole library filled, and so I figured why not share some of this with you guys. We're going to go into a time capsule. We're going to go into the yesteryear of decades ago, and we're going to begin with this book right here. Actually, there's knitting and crocheting in this book. So let me just back up the camera a little bit. I'm using my little table here, so I want to make sure that I can get everything in here. Let's see. I guess, let me zoom out. There we go. Okay, so we have what's called the New Baby Book, Knitting and Crochet. And when was this published? Let's take a look. I'll bring it close so you can see. 1947, and this was printed by the American Thread Company, printed in the US of A. And we're just going to look at the pictures, we're going to look at the recipes and everything from yesteryear. Okay? So the condition of this book is absolutely amazing, all things considered. This is literally 3 years younger than my mother, so 77 years old, or 78 years old this book is. And let's just dig in and take a look at all the wonderful pictures. So we have, let me see, a line on booties. And the pattern books from yesteryear, they're not as creative as today, but it's fine. Look at that. Wow. Fated to be dated. Cotton for her, wool for him. Interesting. Wow. And we have beautifully beautiful bibs. Look at that. Who's all wet? Wow. This is so insane. I love it. It's so good. What a treat. Playing in the sand. A whole crocheted outfit. Hopefully that's cotton. We have winter warm-up. We have the sweater, the mittens, and the booties. Very, very nice. Covered from every angle. This is called the crib sleeper. And over here we have smock smartness. Wow. We have wardrobe for tumblers. I mean, it's not the most exciting stuff, and there's this piece of paper just chilling in here. I wonder how old this is. Looking at this here, the zip code is 3. Wow. You ever remember a time when the zip code was a 3? I don't know of a time that it was that. Anyway, let's move on. This is knitting, Every baby needs a cable. So that's a knit pattern there. Very nice. So it looks like half the book is crochet, half the book is knit, or knitted. Puff crowns for cream puffs. Look at that. I'll back it up a little bit so you guys can see. Wow. More lids for kids. I love their sayings. It's pretty awesome. Definitely sayings we don't use nowadays, but yeah, very nice. Wow, look at that. Hello, Tammy. Hello, everyone coming in. Just to recap, we are in a time capsule. We are currently sitting in 1947, the new baby book. Not so new anymore, but it was 10 cents in 1947. And just to show you, where did I see it? There it is, 1947. Okay. I have this baby book right here. We'll blast through this very quickly. I want to get into some blankets. I'm very excited about that. I'm trying to see when this was printed. It always piques my interest to know. American Thread Company, book 153. I don't see a date here. Printed in the US of A. I don't see a year. Maybe at some point we'll come across it. So we have some baby booties. We have colored print here, so I'm going to guess the 50s, early 60s. Bulky sweater set. Look at that. Super, super nice. Doesn't that look like the Alpine stitch? It isn't, but yeah, super nice. Wow, look at that. Super cute. Okay. We have patty cake bonnet. Super cute. Is that too far away, guys? I guess you guys would like the close-ups. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. That's better. Wow, look at that. Lots of chains, chains, and more chains. Wow. You're getting a publication year of 1950. Wow. This is Come Away With Me, Lucille. Wow, wow, wow. Very nice stitch there. And here is some of the makes. Super awesome. Look at that. How awesome is that stitch? So you have single crochets there, and then you have like spike stitches. Very, very nice. Isn't that cute? Adorable. Look at the baby booties, the shoes. Do they even make them like that anymore? Wow. Yes, I am in love with this. I'm going to try and recreate that. I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but we have a close-up. Super, super nice. Some more baby booties. I love the ribbon and the way that they've detailed that. That's super nice. Then over here, oh, look at that. Too cute. I love it. It's so good. Adorable. I don't know if I like these. I'm going to be honest. I think that's just a little too much. You know, food crumbs can get caught up in that. Baby formula. I don't see wanting to make that for the kiddos. Mm-mm. Not a fan. This, however, we've seen this. It's been done by many, many people on the YouTube streets. It's fillet work, and then you run the yarn through the holes. So they're calling it for the carriage trade. But yeah, super, super nice. It's very interesting how we see these patterns that have been around for such a long time. They get rolled out onto the YouTube streets with different names. Same situation, but different names, different colors. It's just very interesting to see how the art of crochet transcends time. Look at that. Very nice. And we have more booties, because why not? I love the ribbon work. That's super cute. And I wonder if that's like folded down. Doesn't that look like it's folded over? That's super, super nice. And we have some of that wonderful stitch work there. And look at their skeins of yarn. Oh, very nice. And look at that. Wow. Okay. Let's move on. Let me back up a little bit. This here is Leisure Arts Crocheted Lap Robes. Of course, we have a pocket there. This looks like it's all done in single crochet, and then these squares were sewn on after the fact. I don't know if I'm a fan of the pockets on the lap gan. Well, they're calling it a lap robe. But I do like the use of the variegated yarn. That's really, really nice. But there's just too many pockets. I mean, it's very utilitarian, but I don't know how I feel about all that. I feel that maybe the pockets don't need to be so low. I think maybe it's just a matter of taste level. Maybe put the pockets closer to arm's reach. I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of pockets. The placement of said pockets leaves much to be desired. I just feel like if you're going to do that, make it accessible, you know? Anyway, let's move on. We have another one done in single crochet, but we have color work there. Very, very nice. And then, of course, they give you the layout of how to do this, and then each square is a color, and then an X is a color, I guess. When was this printed? 1991. Can you believe 1991 is considered vintage? It's really hard to swallow that pill. This one doesn't really have much in the way of designs or patterns. That's kind of how that front image, remote control, change, eyeglasses, magazine, book, and book. Wow. Oh, that's nice. Look at that, guys. And then we have this one right here, which is super nice. They look like baubles. Lots of bauble work there. Yeah, can you guys believe that? 1991 is considered vintage. 20 years. So anything from, what, 2005 and earlier is considered vintage. I can't. 2005 it feels like it was just yesterday, guys. Okay, I'm going to show you one of my favorites. This is Variegated in Vogue. So this book here is a Leisure Arts publication, and it features 12 crocheted afghans. And I love this book because I love variegated yarn. I love being able to do tons of different things with it, and it gives us great ideas on what to do with the busy yarn that we have in our stash. And we're just not sure what to do with it. So this book is so important to me because I always wonder, like, what could I do with these stitches? You know, what could I do with this yarn? So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to lean the image just so that we can get a full view of this. That's beautiful. That looks like Red Heart Super Saver Parrot Stripes. I don't know if it was around then, but that's super, super nice. Here we are with the fringe. That's another indicator. Here's another one. I don't know the name of these. Let me see, is there a name? No. Oh, alluring. Alluring is the first one, alluring. Number 2 is called Picture Perfect. That's a lot to look at, guys. I mean, even I have limits. That's just, I don't know if I like that. I'm sorry. I love the variegated yarn with the black, but that's just a lot. That's a lot. I like this because you have separation of color. But look at that fringe. I can't. All I keep thinking about is everything that gets caught up in that. If you're having like nachos and cheese when you're watching Netflix, the little itty bitty crumbs get stuck up into those pieces of yarn. And yeah, no, no, no. The next one is called Enticing. Now, I like this because it gives mile a minute vibes. And of course, because of the purple, it gives the yarn breathing room. It allows the yarn to just shine with that black. I'm not a fan of all of that. I mean, who is nowadays? I mean, it's just unnecessary work. But this is gorgeous. I love that. And next we have, well, they're all not numbered in order. So this is called Innovative. Again, with, look at that long fringe. Wow. But I love how this is laid out as color pulling. Wow. And I do like the white. The white is a really nice complement to that busy yarn. Minus the fringe, right? If we just take that, cancel that out, let the rest of it shine. That's perfect. We love that. So good. Next, we have number 11. Let me get the name of this. It's called Dignified. I like this too because the solid kind of breaks up the monotony of all the busy yarn there. I'll give you a close-up of all that. Very, very nice. I don't know if this would be something I'd run to hurry up and make, but I do like the border. I really like that border. That's super nice. And then we have this one right here, which, okay, I don't know if this magenta slash fuchsia color is something that I would run and make, but the variegated yarn here, I'm looking for the name. They've mixed the numbers here. Nothing is in order. So this is number 2. So this is called Picture Perfect. Let me just tilt this up and show you guys up close. There we go. It's okay. All right, let's move on. Oh, look at that. This is nice. I like looking at that. This is very, very reflective of 1990s. I'm positive, Lisa, I don't love it at all. That last one. No, I'm not running to make that. But yes, this I like. This is nice. And then we have this one. This is nice too. You're working it like this, back and forth, and you switch yarns. You're carrying two variegated yarns and you're switching every 4 stitches all the way across. Super nice. All right. Look at that. That's super, super nice. Of course, there's fringe, and I'm not a fan. Wow. And I do like this. So this yarn here features, and we brought this up, we spoke about this in some of the videos, Painted Desert. This yarn is Painted Desert, and the complementary color is Cafe. It almost looks like the waffle stitch, but not really. Maybe that's just post work with variegated yarn. That's beautiful. I love that. And look at the edge. That's really, really nice. I can't get with that. So what's the name of that? Because I may want to make that. Let's see. Number 7. It's called Demure. And it's 48 inches by 63 and a half. And yeah, that's beautiful. All right. So the rest of it is recipe, and then on the back, that's gorgeous. It looks like a checkerboard design, and then of course we have the fringe. $6.50 in 1991. This was a hefty price tag back then. Very nice. All right, let's move on. This one is not vintage, so we will hold off on this one. I will want to look at that in a moment. Hold on. Okay, we have Mile a Minute Afghan Collection. This is just a little pamphlet. There's nothing to it, but I wanted to bring it on because Taco Tuesday with JTYA, one of them is the Mile a Minute, and I thought maybe this could bring you guys some inspiration. And so, let's see. This is literally it. Because the inside is all the recipes. There's no pictures, no images. It's literally just this. So I'll get close to show you what that looks like. And Mile a Minute, for those of you guys who are not sure, you're literally making strips and you're joining the strips together. And the strips, you know, they're different from pattern to pattern. Very, very nice. All right, let's move on. Next, we have from Annie's Attic, Tip Top Afghans. 5 designs showcasing the easy technique of top stitching for a one-of-a-kind accent. All are made using worsted yarn. Very nice. And I have to tell you, this is so nice. Look at that. That's, I mean, yeah, I love that. So when was this printed? Hopefully I could find it. Printed in the US of A. It's a barcode, so it's not too old. Anyway, we'll move on. So this is called the Braid and Twist Afghan. Super, super nice. And it features Red Heart Classic yarn there, off-white, tan, warm brown, mid-brown, coffee, and bronze. 10 strips. That's gorgeous. And then it gives you kind of sort of like the layout of it all. And it is panel work. You're making 10 panels and you're joining them together. That's gorgeous. The next one is a bright plaid Afghan. It gives you the layout of the color work. And then this is what it looks like. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Wow. Next we have Spring Trellis Afghan. I love how it's in the diagonal. And you have one large square and then a bunch of smaller squares going around that larger square. That's super, super nice. That's gorgeous. And that's kind of the layout. Next, we have a Southwest Zigzag Afghan. There we go. Southwest Zigzag. And we have Red Heart Super Saver, Buff Fleck, Teal Brown, a J crochet hook. It's a 6mm. Wow, look at that. And here it's just, I really like that. I would use different colors, but I love how this is all laid out. I love this one right here. I actually, 1, 2, 3, I like this, but I wouldn't run to do that one. I would definitely run to do that one and this one here. Maybe this one, but not that one. So, very, very nice, guys. Love that book. All right. I have some more of my older books, like old. And I say that word very, very lightly. We have, I mean, some that are still in plastic. I wonder how old this is. It's tattered. I have it in the plastic here. Let's see. Copyright 1939. No, 19, is that a 4? That looks like a 4, right? 1949? Yeah, 1949. You have the tape there. This had its full run of the gambit here. But yeah, 1949. So I'm going to be very careful with this because it's ancient. I want to try and preserve it as well as I possibly can. Wow. I'm going to just slide it back and forth and show you these wonderful, wonderful patterns from yesteryear. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Wow. Okay. Trying to be careful here. Let me back this up a little bit. What I'm fascinated with isn't necessarily just the designs, it's all the other things, like the people in the magazines, the way that the patterns were written back then. Very different, not the same as how we read it today. Look at this. Gorgeous. Boy suit, and then a lacy yoke cardigan. Very nice. And then a girl's dress. Look at this. Argyle slipover. Wow. Oh, look at that. Adorable. Striped blazer. We have an Angora hat. We have a beret. We have high booties. A surplus sweater. We have plain booties. We have cable socks, if that's what that even is. And then a soaker. And I don't know what that is. That might be socks as well. It looks like it goes over the knee. Maybe. I don't know. But it's gorgeous. Love that. Wow. Let me just... So we have, it looks like 2 copies of the same thing. We have a good copy that's in good condition. Well, better condition, not mint, but I'm deeply appreciative of the fact that, like, I have a very good copy. And then I have a copy that's been used. So we're going to keep them together. All right. Let's just get this in here. Actually, I will put this to the side and do it after. All right. So again, I have more. I'll save these for next time. I do have a more recent book from 2018. This is not vintage, obviously, but I kind of wanted to share some recent works from Hirschner's. This is Hirschner's Treasury of Crochet Afghans. And I'm showing you guys this just to kind of show you like the evolution of crochet, how it was from yesteryear and how it is today. What is that? Fashion's wool. Wondered if it caused... I have no idea. But yeah, look at that. Absolutely stunning how we've come in crochet and just all of the wonderful works of art. Let's take a look at these. The first one is called Glacial Ripple. Let's see if we have a picture. This is kind of how the design is supposed to look. And it's this one right here, Glacial Ripple, right? That's what it's called. Wait a minute. Glacial Ripple, January. Where's the pictures? Where are the picture books? We have May, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Okay, let's do this. Okay, that's January, Glacial Ripple. And February, just want to make sure that we're doing it right. Yep, As You Like. I said it wrong. As You Like. And then Crocheting Is My Cup of Tea. And then this is called Southwest Sunset. That's gorgeous. Southwest Sunset. And then let's move on. We have Rose Shells. Beautiful. Rose Shells. And then we have Coastal Lattice. I love that color. It's like a teal with white, and there's like a dark teal highlight there, or low light. Very nice. And next we have Flower Garden. Beautiful. And then from there we have Calla Lily Symphony. Calla Lily Symphony. Oh, I love that. It's got that clef right there and all the notes. Very nice. And then for September, what's the name of this? Hold on. We have Country Sunflowers. And then a stylized sampler, like a stitch sampler blanket. Very, very nice. And then Autumn Breeze is this one. Autumn Breeze for November. And then last but not least, we have Holiday Cheer. Very nice. Okay. I have one final book to share with you guys, and then I'll flip us over and we'll crochet and chat. So we have McCall's Design Ideas Afghans. Dozens of cozy Afghans to knit, crochet, pillows too. I love the color. Very nice. And I actually have this book. It's in the other room. Let's see, when was this printed? I don't know when this was printed. Let's look. It's not on the spine. I'll find it eventually. Oh, it's right here. So I look for the latest date. When there's multiple dates there, I look at the last printed date, and this is 1982, right there. So it's first printed in 73, 4 prints later. This one here is 1982. Good morning to everybody coming in. Thank you for being here. So McCall's Design Ideas of Afghans, 1982, 3 years younger than I am. Surprise coverlets. Let me just back this up a little bit. There we go. 2 for knitters. Very nice. I love the color choice there. The offset squares. Off-center squares in a sparkling colors. Turquoise, yellow, amethyst, and tangerine. Very nice. Next, we have this tricolor. It looks like a hot air balloon, but they're just circles. Let me just tilt this so we don't have the glare. Very nice. All American is what this is called. Knit 4 American Indian motifs in blanket length strips using 4 pottery colors of Brunswick Windrush for this handsome Afghan. Very, very nice. Good morning, Helen. Welcome in. Look at this. An old American quilt pattern called Turkey Tracks was copied in crochet for this cheery Afghan. Each 14-inch square starts at the center with a block of russet color. Ombre yarn worked into the pattern adds a calico effect of Brunswick Windrush. That's really, really nice. Erin Knits in Natural. This is beautiful, timeless. I absolutely love this colorway. And look at this blanket. Oh my stars. Isn't that gorgeous? And then we have some gorgeous pillows. Very nice. I'm going to tilt this so the glare isn't there. This is puff patterns. Well, crochet a soft pillow or 2 or 3 in the round and along rectangular square, patterned with puff stitches, diamonds. Knit a coverlet in Trinity and seed stitches to cover you or your sofa. All right, so let's take a look. Look at that. That's beautiful. Gorgeous. Love that. Lots of shell work with a gradient of red, orange, and yellow. It's beautiful. This is beautiful as well. It's a knit pattern design. We have flowers. Look at that. Isn't that nice? It's beautiful. Yarn eaters for sure, but very, very nice. And then here, I love this. This is beautiful. All in half double crochet, this 2-tone bedspread combines big and little checkerboard squares in a repeat design for the center panel, adds 3 Greek key borders. Checkerboard bedspread, a Fildar design is in pronostic. So that's beautiful. All half double crochet. Look at this. I've always wanted to make one of these. I should do this. I should totally challenge myself to do this. I always wanted to do one of these. Oh my. So good. We all know I have the yarn for it. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then it's got a border on it. Look at that. Wow. Beautiful. Okay. Anyway, we have new ways with old patterns. This page, Tyrolean knit Afghan made of cable strips and berry patch panels in Brunswick Windrush. Opposite, the popular granny Afghan in a riot of colors, shown as a rug. I would not make that a rug, but that's gorgeous. Wow, look at this. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, this is definitely not my cup of tea or my room. I would never, ever, ever in a million years have pink walls with all the pink things. But I know someone in our audience today would absolutely do this if given the chance. All the pink things. Poor cat. Poor kitty kitty. Touching all that pink. My goodness. Anyway, for babies. Oh, look at that. Love that. That's super, super nice. Very enjoyable for sure. Oh, look at this. Isn't that great? Wow. That's cute. Little rabbits. Poor baby. Look at that. All the pink. I kid. Too cute. Field of flowers. Wow. Flower motifs framed in blue, and all blue motifs are crocheted in two sizes and joined together in crochet for an unusual arrangement of floral and plain Afghan squares. The sparkling border in the colors is patterned in shells and single crochet for Starflower Afghan. So it's called the Starflower Afghan. Very nice. All right, so I'm going to skip all the recipes and we're going to jump right on over to more pictures. We have the Aztec Afghan. Oh, look at that. Very nice. These are easy knit Afghans. I like the checkerboard or chessboard design. Easy knit Afghans, super nice. We have Indian design. This looks like double crochet. You're carrying the colors, or this could be intarsia. Natural tones of brown, gray, black, and white wool combine effectively in this Afghan, emblazoned with an American Indian motif. All in double crochet, made in one piece. Design is quick to make in Reynolds Icelandic Lopi. And then we have the zigzag stripes. So not necessarily chevrons, it just gives us that gentle zigzag. Yeah, that does look like intarsia, Yvette. Here we have two ripple knit Afghans. That one, and then this one here. Early American. Squares of single crochet patterned all the same in bright and deep red and creamy white. Well, you can't tell, it's not in full color there, but yeah. Quilt of pinwheels. Very nice. And then we have this, which this is a timeless design. We've seen this all over the YouTube streets. Classic snowflake design done by many people. Love that. We have a cross stitch on crochet. I'm lost with this. I mean, I've seen it done, but that's just not my forte. Hi, Tasha. Welcome in. Hi, Erica, and everyone I missed. Thank you so much for being here. We have another cross stitch pattern there. Very, very nice. Next, we have more motifs. And then favorites in crochet. So this page, it's natural wool color, works all in one piece. This handsome Afghan adapts raised pattern panels of Aran knits to crochet. Clusters, popcorns, and other stitches in relief form the design. Fisherman's Afghan, page 83. So this is the Fisherman's Afghan. You guys already know what I'm about to say with this. We have a circular jiffy lace. That's beautiful, very lacy, perfect for the warmer weather. This would look great in cotton, by the way. And then we have texture knitting, which, I mean, I have to learn how to regular knit before I do the texture, but I'm sure there are a few of you guys out there that know all about this. And then we have a baby's coverlet. That's really nice as well. And so that is the book. There it is. And so from here, I'm going to flip us around. We're going to have some coffee and chit chat for another 15 or so minutes, and then we will move on with our day. So field trip. 1, 2, and 3. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun going through these books from yesteryear. So much fun. And I do have a few of them in here that we still have yet to see, which I will save for next Sunday. So, as I mentioned last week, if this is something that you like doing, let's do it. Let's just go into a time capsule and enjoy looking at all the patterns from years ago. Let me just tilt this down. So, yeah. Hi, Dorothy, and everybody that I've said hello to, but now we're actually seeing each other. Hi, Becky. The vintage episodes are actually really nice. It kind of shows us how crochet has evolved. Like, we see tutorials, we see patterns come out, and let's be perfectly honest, a double crochet from 20 years ago is still a double crochet today. It's just, how do we put these stitches together to create some amazing work? So I really like being able to see how our craft has evolved. You know, it's just so much fun. So good. So what I have to crochet on is birthday blanket. I'm going to work on birthday blanket because why not, right? So are you guys crocheting? Are you guys working on? Connie, you hit the nail right on the head. It does give a lot of inspiration. It kind of speaks to how we prevent ourselves from losing our crojo. Like, we have visual inspiration and it's like, okay, well, I love the way that looks. Let me see if I can try it with this yarn or this color, you know? So you're working on a beach bag, Just Maria. That is awesome. I love that. Yes, it's very weighty at this point, and we're making progress on it. As promised, I'm moving the hook on it, so to speak. And hopefully, one of these days, I'll be able to come on here and be like, guys, I have an FO. It's the birthday blanket. So, next up, a taco. So you guys are working the taco challenge. Take a challenge on Tuesday with JTYA. I think that's amazing. You did a patriotic bucket hat. That's cool. Love that. You love timber trails. Thank you, guys. And you know that pattern, as I mentioned before, I didn't think anyone would really care for it, but a lot of you guys enjoy that. So that's cool. I appreciate the support on that pattern. Your mile a minute has run into a speed bump. No way. Well, I made a mile a minute project for Taco Tuesday. The members have seen it. I don't know if I've shown it on the channel yet, but the members have seen it. And I have another project in the works that involves mile a minute. Hopefully it works out. It's in the other room. You're learning the star stitch, Tasha. That's awesome. You have your colors ready. That's so cool, Adrian. Hi, Jojo. Welcome in. Hi, Zabby. Thank you for being here. You're making little blankets for the local maternity hospital, and the mums take them home. That's awesome. It's a great memento, like, you know, memory blanket, so to speak. You're just finishing Cornerstone Pathways. That's awesome. That 4-round repeat's a lot of fun. You sent a moss stitch in the round. Nice. You're working on a granny kimono top. Wow. That's cool. Love that. Love that you guys have all these projects that you guys are working on, and this shirt just keeps pulling down. Sorry about that. Anyway. Squiggle wiggle. Oh, yes. I love it. Just so that you guys know, I do have a mile a minute, another mile a minute pattern that I put on the hook, and I don't know when I'm going to release it, but I'm super inspired by mile a minute right now. Like, I just love it. I love being able to make these like strips and put them together, to make different things. I just love doing it, especially like if it involves stitches that I really enjoy creating. So, very nice. Oh, you love my scarf? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I told the members, and I'm going to tell you guys, like, even though I've shown it, I'm going to just show it again for Tuesday. So stay tuned. Tuesday is just a few days away, and I really wanted to make the beach bag, guys, but I couldn't because, well, maybe I can. I don't know. Like, I want to do it in cotton, but I'm already doing another bag for the members only pattern, and I don't want to be bagged out, you know? Because beach bags are like notoriously like large, and I feel like it's not like a 1 day project. So we'll see. You finished Ripples in the Creek? Love the pattern? Yes. Trisha did a great job with that design. Such a great job. And yeah, that's a good one for sure that you could work up with any kind of yarn. It's so good. Hi, Penny. Bags and blankets are your jam. That's cool. You know what's funny? Blankets and cardigans are mine. And the funny thing about it is, as much as I love making cardigans, I don't really make many of them. But when I do make them, I really enjoy it. It's so funny. I decided to make my Mile a Minute project into way too much, but it will be good when done, whenever that is. So good. I've been watching the Live Aid concert from 1985. That's cool. Blankets, cardies, and bags are your thing? Nice. I don't mind making bags. It's just that there's so many different kinds of bags. And I think about like what I would want to put in the bag, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too critical about it, but blankets for sure. Blankets are my jam. You can make blankets all year. Like, that's the best thing about blankets. And for me, guys, I like making blankets with like 1, 2, or 3 row repeats. Fast, fun, easy, autopilot, put on a movie, let's crochet. That's my jam. When we talk blankets, I like that. I don't want blankets where, like, okay, fine. Wildflower Oasis, I love making those blankets, but you have to count the stitches. You have to like pay attention to it, which I don't mind making those, but my jam, I love autopilot. You give me a few round repeats, it's over. I love those blankets, you know? And then especially ones that have variegated yarn, broken up with solids. Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Love that. The Wildflower Oasis throw in sage green is turning so stunning. I love that for you. So, so good. And I'll tell you, that blanket, it almost wasn't a thing. I did speak about this before. Like, I really wasn't sure if I was even going to do that design, but I turned to one of my old swatches and I said, you know, I need to do something with this swatch. And it was literally a square that had like popcorns in it. And I'm like, this needs to be a thing. And so that's how Wildflower Oasis was born. Now for the summer, I've mentioned this before, for the summer, we're doing a make along. And if you're new to my channel, which there's a lot of new people, if you're new to my channel, ever since my channel began, I've always had a seasonal project, whether it was a crochet along or a make along. And for this season, summer, we're doing a make along. We're going to make a cardie. We're going to make a cardigan. And the way that I'm going to do it is literally give you the instruction on how to create it based on your own measurements. And I think that's the best way to do it because it's not a crochet along, it's a make along. So I'm going to make mine and I'm going to show you how I make mine. And then using your own measurements, you make yours the way you would make it. So yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Because if you noticed, and maybe you have, maybe you haven't, I don't really crochet wearables on my channel, only because I feel like We all have different sizing. I don't want to put out there crochet 10 stitches for a large, because what a large looks like to you is different than what a large looks like to me, because we're all shaped different. So I try to stay away from like wearables unless it's a make along. So I will be like, make this many chains to go from hip to hip, and then crochet extra for, you know, extra give, and whatever that looks like to you, you know. Do double crochets until you hit your arm, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of how I do it, you know. So hopefully it goes without a hitch, but this will be the first time that I do a wearable make along. So we shall see. I was one of your winners last week. Do I need to start looking out for the postman yet? Yes. Those of you guys who want anything from me, be on the lookout from the post. If you don't see anything within the next day or two, reach out and I will try to track your package. For those of you guys that are not aware, there has been a post hike from Ground Advantage. The hike went up to almost 51%. And I don't know if that is what delayed the packages or what's going on, but as of late, like, it's just all sorts of crazy happening with the packages. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, the repeat blankets are so relaxing. It just takes your mind off all the things, you know? USPS also raised their prices. Yeah, it's just insane. And what I'm afraid happened, or could happen, I'm not sure yet, is the packages that are still in transit come back because of the price hike. I really hope that they get delivered because the packages were already paid for. So I'm not really sure. We'll see. The different popcorn and bobble stitches and wildflowers were fun. Yes, flowers in the field is what we call that. That's a lot of fun. For the fall, I'm deciding as to whether or not to create another blanket. And if I do, maybe we do one in the round or in the rectangle. Since Wildflower Oasis was square, maybe we should do like a rectangle or a circular blanket, like a mandala blanket. So I will put the feelers out in the coming weeks to kind of see where everyone is with that, if there's any interest. If there is, I will definitely put something on the hook and create it. Super, super nice. Let's see. Have you tried Pirate Ship? Yeah, that's kind of what I use. Pirate Ship, believe it or not, has jacked up their prices as well. Yep. What I think I'm going to start doing is utilizing maybe UPS, because they have not jacked up their prices, but yeah. Let's go back and forth, right? Let's just flip, 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 flip. That would be cool. But again, I think that if I'm doing a crochet along, it's got to be where it captures people's interest, because flipping the blanket every round, it does get kind of boring. But, you know, everyone crochets differently. You like the mandala idea for the blanket in the circle? Yeah. They're charging more if delivering to rural areas. Don't forget about the fringe. Oh boy. No way. No fringe for me. UPS has crazy prices for your country. I'm so sorry about that. I mean, to certain countries, postage is not friendly whatsoever. And I don't know what the hang up is about that, but I really hope these places come around, because it's all about, you know, being able to get things to people. And I don't know. When you ship with Pirate Ship, I chose UPS now. It's so much cheaper. I agree, Lanny. Like, the packages that I've sent out recently have gone out with USPS Advantage, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go with whatever option's the cheapest, because I've done a lot of giveaways on my channel and it becomes very costly, you know, and I think to some degree I'm probably going to have to scale back the amount of giveaways I've been doing, just because I've been spending quite a bit of cash on postage. Now, if the postage wasn't as high as it is, I probably wouldn't care, but I'm kind of caring now, you know? So I just think about what else I could share with you guys if I wasn't spending so much money on postage. Now, I do have a whole membership level to help support me with that postage, and it's been great thus far. But I got to tell you, with the way that the postage increased by 51%, 51% is a lot. It's a lot, you know? So you get your mail once a week? Wow. Once a week. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, don't put yourself out monetarily. Absolutely. And see, the thing is I know that like everyone loves a good giveaway, you know? I know I do, you know? Ah, thank you, Jess. I didn't say that for anyone to start donating. I appreciate that though. But, you know, my hope is I just have to find some balance here. And, you know, if the postage rates continue to increase, I'll just have to scale back the giveaways. I'll still do them, but just not as many. And we'll go from there, you know? You can gift a pattern maybe. I agree. I think that's the best way to do a giveaway because I do patterns all the time, you know? So to get a freebie, you know, pattern or whatever, it's a nice little exchange, right? 16 months. Oh my goodness, Sandy. Thank you so much for your support. That's insane. 16 months. Mm-mm-mm. Some people ask for the winner to pay postage. That's a good idea. I don't think people would go for that, you know, but it's worth at least exploring, you know. It's cheaper to send something from Amazon with Prime. I agree, Tank. I really do. Anyway, I just realized the time. You see what happens when we sit here and we crochet and we just chit chat? The time gets to the better part of us. So I will tell you guys, if you're interested, I do go live every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's my usual Sunday live, and we sit, we chat, we hang out. So if you're interested in that, feel free to pop on to the channel and hang out with us for an hour or so. A lot of you guys have asked me, hey Juan, your lives are always an hour. Can you ever stay on longer than an hour? The thing about that is I try to be respectful of people's time. Like, I don't mind being on longer than an hour. I really don't. It's just that after an hour, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but after an hour, my channel becomes an airport. And what I mean by that is people start announcing their departures. Like, hey guys, I'll catch you guys later, you know, and that's just a clear indicator to me that perhaps an hour is like the cutoff, you know? Unless I announce ahead of time, like, guys, this live will be longer than an hour, I try not to intentionally stay longer than an hour. So, yeah. It's a lot of my time too. I agree, Adrian. And I think an hour benchmark is a decent amount of time to share with you guys. You know what I mean? So, anyway. With that being said, I'm trying to get to the corner. I like getting to the corner before like ending anything. I don't like ending anything mid-row. So I just have a few stitches here and then we will call it. Here we go. Perfect. Bunny ear. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It's always a pleasure. You guys know that. And I have tons and tons of vintage patterns and designs. We'll do this on Sundays. Hopefully it gives you some sort of inspiration to create, put yarn to a hook or to the needles. Anyway, guys, you have a wonderful Sunday. If you're available, come check me out, 6 p.m. Eastern. If not, have a wonderful week. Have a good one, guys. Bye.